So what's a PET scan like? I have had 6 or 7 PET scans. I've got to write it down and tally them all for another video. But I've had a few PET scans, one earlier this year, one in January, one in July. It was the one in July that caught the new cancer. And it's essentially a CT scan, but with added stuff. So if you've ever had a CT scan, it's a similar experience, but with the PET scan, essentially what they do is they inject you with radioactive sugar. So you have to fast the day before. I think you do with the regular CT scan anyway, but your blood sugar has to be low because when you go in, they inject you with radioactive sugar, and there has to not be enough competing sugar that their radioactive sugar will go to the tumor sites. Cancers love sugar. So you go in, they take you to a quiet room, and this is my experience. I'd love to hear yours if it's different or similar, but this is what I have experienced. They take you to a quiet room with a reclining chair. They test your blood sugar. Well, they test your blood sugar to make sure that it's low enough. I believe in the past they've actually done that with a fingerprint. This last time, she actually went ahead and set the IV. You need a needle in your arm to do the injection, and she got the blood out of the injection site. So put in a line that she could, a needle that she could do the injection with. Test your blood sugar. Wait a minute. Make sure the blood sugar comes back okay. Then the technician, again, wonderful technicians. I've had the same one for most of my scans, and she's awesome. She goes into the locked room and gets the lead-lined box with the radioactive sugar in it. She wears a radiation badge. They all do, even with, well, in all the instances with the tests as well as the radiation treatments, they wear the radiation badges to make sure that they're not getting too high of a dose. But she gets the radioactive sugar. It's in a syringe. She sits down next to me. I'm relaxing in the chair. I've already got the IV line in, and she injects it, and then you sit quietly. And you have to sit quietly for like 45 minutes while it works its way through your body. And again, the trick is cancers love sugar, so with your normal body's low blood sugar, lowish, normal blood sugar, this extra radioactive sugar then will concentrate on the tumor. Since it's radioactive, it'll show up glowing on a PET scan. So you sit quietly. One time she even told me, don't even talk on the phone, because if you're moving muscles also take up sugar. So your heart will take up some sugar, just normally and naturally. But if you're moving a lot, those muscles that you're using will also take up sugar. I have a mouth tick, probably a result from from my first incidence of cancer. So I tend to move my tongue unconsciously, and very often I get some glows there, and I have to fight against moving my mouth while I'm sitting quietly. You can scroll on your phone, things like that. I play games or scroll, but you're sitting there quietly. They have a heater in the room. They have a blanket. It's nice. They turn the lights off. It's comfortable. And then after 45 minutes, and you can get up and you can use the bathroom during it, and they bring you water because they want you to start drinking, because the radioactive dye is also, or sugar is also going to concentrate in your bladder, and they want you to eliminate right before you go into the scan. So right before you go into the scan, after you've had the water, after you've sat there for 45 minutes quietly, then you go use the bathroom, and then you go, and it's a normal MRI, CT scan machine room. Mine is typically with contrast, and so they do use the IV site, which they can hook up with the contrast while you're in the CT scanner, and you lie on the table. And since my original cancer was head and neck, I do 2 scans. I do a head and neck scan, and then I raise my arms above my head and then do a body scan down to my thighs. And this head and neck scan, you have your hands down, you're holding real still. They've got all sorts of things. If you're worried about moving, tell them, they can tie your head down, they can put stuff around your head. They can support your neck and your head so that you don't move, because if you move, the pictures get blurry. In this case, it's not a radiation danger of hitting the wrong thing. It's just the pictures are blurry. And then you do the head and neck scan. You do have to hold your breath at one point. I'm a little fuzzy on how much. I always worry about that though, is you have to stop breathing. There's a recording that says take a deep breath and hold it while the machine's going and you're being processed through it. And then it says breathe normally. And so I always worry about that part. Once they do the scan on your head and neck, then they might come back and do a scan with contrast. So you might have one with contrast and one without. Again, the contrast might go first. The no contrast might go second. And then you put your arms above your head to do the rest of your body scan down to mid-thighs. And again, especially because this is your chest area, there is a hold your breath. It is much more intense. It is twice in a row. And I have never been able to hold my breath the whole time the second time they say hold your breath. So I have started breathing again before they say you can. And it's never been a problem, but do your best. All right, so you put your arms above your head. They might start the contrast for your first scan through. They might do the non-contrast, then the contrast, etc. So the technician comes in and out a couple of times, either to start your contrast or turn it off. Now the contrast is an IV line in your arm. So one thing they'll do is, once they've got that line run there must be one of those stands with the drip bag on it. I never see it, but they'll wrap the line around your thumb with a little bit of slack to wherever they put the needle, so that as you're moving in and out of the tube, it's not going to jerk your needle out. So they will wrap it good. They'll tug on it, make sure that if it does get tugged on because of your movement, it's not going to rip the needle out of your arm, which is, a very good thing. When I'm laying flat on the table, I find it very helpful to have my knees up because of my back. I'm not young. I even ask for an extra pillow. They have some knee braces, and I always get an extra pillow to make it easier on my back. They can take a band and put it around your shoes to hold your feet in place. When you've got your arms down, they have these ring things that you can hang on to so that your arms don't fall off the table, because, the tables are narrow. I'm a big person, so the tables are narrow. So there are all these supports that they have for you while you're on the table, which are very helpful. And again, they come in and out of the room as they're doing things. They give you an estimate of how long this scan is going to take and how much longer. And then once you're done, you get up. And I don't know if this is true. I'll have to keep paying attention as I move forward. But I think if they didn't find anything, I don't get offered food. But if they found something, I get offered food. I've noticed that this last time when they found something, I got offered food. And I'm thinking in January when they didn't find anything, I don't think I got offered food. But I can't remember. Maybe they always offer you food because you've been fasting and you've been on the table for a while, so your blood sugar might be a little low because of this. I like to get the scans afterwards. They can put them on a CD, and they've got a free software package you can run so that you can see if things are glowy on the scan. Your bladder will be glowy because of the pee. And they will let you, if you need to pee in the middle of the scans, they'll let you get up and go use the bathroom in between scans. I don't think I've ever had to, but because you use the bathroom right before you lay down. And the scan, mine with both the head and neck and the body, I'm thinking all together takes around an hour. All right, 45 minutes to an hour. So you can get the scans, you can look at them, you can see if there are any glowy things, but be careful, there are going to be lots of glowy things that aren't tumors. They know the difference, all that good stuff. So that's my PET scan experience. I'd love to hear yours. Again, if it's different, let me know how, that sort of thing. Thanks.